All right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukaha, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the GMS who I learned from. Shalom to all for like preaching this word in truth and sincerity. To your brothers, to you sisters out there learning silence and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom. All right, back at it with another clip here. It says, investigation finds at least 973 Native American children died in U.S. government boarding schools. Man, I wish I would have. I wish I had the name of the movie, but there's a movie out there that shows a couple of Native American kids inside of these boarding schools. Man, and it's just wild, bro. The extent that Esau goes through to brainwash. Says file. The ruins of a building that was part of a Native American boarding school on the Rosebud Sioux Reservation in Mission SD are shown here October 15, 2022. Federal officials with the Interior Department called on the U.S. government Tuesday, July 30th, 2024 to apologize for a nationwide system of boarding schools in which Native children faced abuse and neglect. They say this, right? But they don't really they really don't hold themselves accountable, man. You know, you bringing this out in 2024, you know, shows a lot. This is Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Right, this is Esau knowing, right, that what time it is, right? So in Psalms 83 talks about they made a tumult so that, you know, that they made, as a matter of fact, we're going to get that. But, right, them bringing this out in 2024, it shows, man, that they really don't care, and they're not really bringing it out like that. You know, you're gonna get glimpses here and there, but it ain't gonna be like on the news. You know, there ain't gonna be no holiday to remember these people. Why? Because they stole this land, right? They stole this land, and they want you to forget about that. They want you to think that Esau was always here. Right, that's why he made himself the Native Americans. This is why he made himself the Egyptians. This is why he made himself the Israelites. Right, he wants to be the former of all things. Right, but that's Israel. Right, and they want to basically broom the fact that they took this place and established this whole country by blood, man. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him, right, meaning destruction, sorrow, complications, all these things to this damn country, man, who has raped, stole, subjugated, oppressed the apple of the Lord's eye, man, which is Israel. So-called Native Americans, so-called Hispanics, so-called blacks. Right? Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity, man. This whole city, right, because, you know, it's called the USA, but it's still a city because it has civilians in it, right? And civilian is synonymous with city. This is a civilization, man. It was established by iniquity, robbery, bribery, right? Exterminations, whitewashing, all these things. Right? These people knew, man. They hold themselves not guilty, man. Right? They think that the Lord is just with them and, you know, allowing these things to happen, which he is to a certain degree. Right? But you're going to have to pay for some of this stuff, man. All of this stuff. Salakia, all of it. right? Psalms 83 verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And then it goes into which nations were a part of this, which basically all the nations were a part of this, man. Right? Every nation that Israel went to was great because of Israel. Right? Including the U.S. It says Native American children died in the U.S. government abusive boarding school system, according to the results of an investigation released Tuesday by officials who called on the government to apologize for the schools. Right, that's it. They get an apology. It says the investigation commissioned by the Interior Sec Deb Haaland found marketed and unmarked graves at 65 of the more than 400 U.S. boarding schools that were established to forcibly assimilate Native American children into white society. Right, unmarked graves at 65 of the more than 400 boarding schools. Right, so they only found 65 graves out of 400 schools that was out. Right, showing the disregard for human life. Right, disregard for non-white human lives. They were unmarked graves. They even had names on them. Right, they buried them. They buried those kids in those graveyards, man. Like if you was to bury a dog or a cat, and even then, bro, I bet you their pet cats and dogs have, you know, a marker, you know, Fluffy and, you know, all that, whatever we want to call your dogs. These kids didn't even have no names on their graves. It says the findings don't specify how each child died, but the causes of death included sickness, accidents, and abuse during a 150-year period that ended in 1969, officials said. Right, this is 1969. Right, my mother was about 10 years old while this was going on. So this is basically, this is a grandma ago. This is the age of your grandmas, man. This wasn't like 200 years ago. It says the findings follow a series of listening sessions across the U.S. over the past 2 years, in which dozens of former students recounted the harsh and often degrading treatments they endured while separating from their families. So now you could probably literally go on YouTube and search for one of these people who attended these schools, because some of them might still be alive, man. You know, if they allow this on YouTube, right, for as long as they allow it, because they're trying to censor things, man. Right, I'm not gonna read this whole thing, man. You guys could actually go on this, the Associated Press, and look at this title, read the whole thing. Right, there's a couple of documentaries on it. Right, if you want further information on that, there's a movie out. You know, there are survivors of the interviews of the survivors, Salakia. Right, so on and so forth, man. I just wanted to bring out the atrocities of Esau, man. This man's not gonna get away scot-free. You know, he holds himself not guilty, but not for long. Right, the Lord has a judgment seat, right, where he has to sit in and come face to face with terms with what he has done, man. Right, and I pray the Lord allows me to be a witness there, man. You know, in the day of judgment. Right, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the GMS who I learned from. Shalom to a hopeful like preaching His word and true sincerity. To you ribs, to you sisters out there learning silence and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom.